I'm on Rumble too, Jeremy. Go to Rumble and you shall see it.
Ready to live stream on Rumble.
I'm definitely there. Listen to a band called the Utah County Swillers right now. I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, but man, these guys are kick.
Get ready to live stream.
That's not 8 o'clock yet. All right. Coming up here, Rumble, or what?
Stream on Rumble.
Can't get in Pink Floyd, man. Actually,
get ready to live stream.
Jeremy, see if that goes on Rumble, would you? For some reason, I can't. Not seeing it on Rumble. I see the thing. I'm just not seeing. For some reason, it's not showing up. Okay. On my end. What's up, Chick Charlie? So Pulverizer. My man Owen Benjamin loves Pink Floyd. He's a piano player, so he plays a lot of Pink Floyd. And some of the lyrics are pretty freaking. I tell you, man, they're pretty stellar. That's for sure. So I don't know. Maybe I'll check out Pink Floyd. That stupid Money's. Oh, that song just bored me to death. Buffering here on YouTube, but maybe it's doing that on Rumble too. I just don't see anything on Rumble showing up. What's up, man? All right, is it buffering? There we go. All right.
Maybe it's doing that on Rumble too. I just don't see anything on Rumble.
There we go. All right, cool. It's good. Looks like we're good now. All right. Looks like we're good. So anyway, maybe I'll revisit Pink Floyd. Some of those lyrics look pretty freaking spot on. And I had drank the Kool-Aid on criticizing Israel meant you were anti-Semitic. That's what I used to think. And so when what's his name criticized Israel, I said, "Oh, you got to be anti-Semitic." And now I realize that's just fake stuff. You can criticize Israel without being anti-Semitic. Let me turn on the fan. And so I fell for it for many, many years. And is Aaron staying? Is Aaron staying with the Packers? Is that what you're saying here? Hey, Robert's here. Woo, Robert Scott's here. We can all good stuff, Robert. I'm goofing, man. That's cool. It's all good. I'm not sure if Dana, what's going on, man? What's going on up there, eh? Cold? What's going on with that puppy dog? Forgot the puppy dog's name. Well, if I'm Tennessee Titans, I'm going freaking hell's bells for Aaron Rodgers, that's for sure. Or if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, if I'm Tennessee, I'm going for Aaron Rodgers. Who's the three guys that are out there? You got Aaron Rodgers, Brady. I don't think Brady's retiring. You got Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Tennessee, San Francisco, all just need a new quarterback, and they're pretty much golden. It seems like I'm missing a team or a quarterback. I can't remember. But anyway, so, yeah, man, there's a lot of Tennessee. I forgot. It seems like I'm missing somebody. Tennessee, San Francisco, the Rams and the 49ers played. The Bengals beat the Chiefs. The Bengals beat the Titans, and the Chiefs beat the Bills. Bills look good. Bengals are good. All right, there we go. So let's start answering some questions. I like sports. Not gonna lie to you, man. I'm a fan of sports. Always have. Lacey, oh, right on, man. April, everybody doing good up there? Where you guys seen a town yet? You're thinking about moving to there, Dana? Dane? Starting to get our bugs here. You look, I got some sun on my face. Nice here in Georgia today, man. It felt good. It's nice, but that means the heat's coming. That's for sure. I mean, obviously it's only February. We're not. Let's take a gander at the weather. All right, so let's gander. All right, so 64 degrees right now. It's gonna be 77 tomorrow, 75 on Thursday, 50. Oh yeah, that's nice. All right, let's take a look up there in Maine, Dana. in Freiburg right now it's 28 degrees. It's going to be 62 tomorrow, 30, 30, 31. Snowing on Friday, 31, 35, 21. That's Freiburg, Maine. Freiburg Fair. All right. And Roanoke, looks like, let's see, Roanoke, 50s. All right. Let's look at Rapid City. Right now, Rapid City is 0 degrees. And it's feels like negative 18. Rapid City is quite cold, man. Yeah, where do you live, Pulverizer? My man Andrew says Oak Harvest Finance had their live investor summit and they're all in on bonds. I'm not all in on bonds. Jeez, don't pin that on me. I'm not all in on bonds, man. Let me just draw you what I'm doing. Either I didn't explain this well or people have a hard time listening or probably a combination thereof. All right. So I got my that's probably bigger than that. Hold on a second. So I got this, and this. These are my 3 accounts. Here's my IRA. Here's my Roth. Here's my brokerage. So my brokerage account is small. My IRA is big. I mean, big relative to the other 3. Not big. Hey, James, what's going on, man? Minnesota might dump Social Security tax. Wow. Pulverizer from parts of it. Hello, Denise. Hey, Naples, Florida, 5 degrees right now. Anyway, so here's my brokerage account, and I'm adding to that a clip of about about 50,000 a year. All right, don't think that there's a lot of money in there. There's not. So I sold quite a bit last year to pay down some of my mortgage. So before you guys say, "Wow, if you're adding $50,000 and it's only that big, and your IRA is that big, that must mean you're a millionaire." I'm not. I mean, not at all. Not at all. Not a stretch of the imagination. I'm not. That's okay. But anyway, so the point being, I put in $2,000 right now every 2 weeks in my brokerage account. I'm not contributing anything here, and I'm not contributing anything here. So ideally, my brokerage account becomes my biggest account. All right, so what we have here is this is the Wellington. It used to be 100% stocks, and now it's 70% stocks. That's definitely not all in, man. This right here is still VTI and VDIGX. VDIGX is the Vanguard Dividend Growth Fund. That's it. And this right here is all VTI. Now I have down here, I got a little bit of cash. Oh, I say a little bit of cash. It's 5 figures, but not, that's truly my emergency account. So that's not all bonds by a stretch of the imagination. And I don't know if I screwed that up in my explanation, but I don't even think about my brokerage or my Roth. I just don't. I don't really think about my IRA either. I just think the opportunity is in the bonds because I think if we look at our book here, The Holy Grail of Macroeconomics, Lessons from Japan's Great Recession, we have a pretty good gauge to figure out that the market has a tendency, or a chance, I should say, certainly a tendency to go down after it's been up for a while. And on top of that, I think I've just been in this business a long time. When everyone starts saying this, it generally means you want to go the other direction. So, all right. Oh, I've been using my Keurig forever, man. It just doesn't take a lot of electricity. Yeah, I'm sorry. Taking what did I say today on, it's probably even an eighth of a kilowatt hour a day. I mean, you can hear my dog. An eighth. I mean, that's just not that much electricity. You know what I'm saying? The vampire. I just hate that. So unplug it. That's fine. I don't got any problem with that. But if you're an eighth of a kilowatt hour a day, that's what 3-4 kilowatt hours. Let's say 5 kilowatt hours a month. Now I get it. My 5 kilowatt hours, that guy's 5 kilowatt hours, all that. I 100% get that. I get that. So at the end of the day, it all compounds. But it's just that's small potato stuff. Like I said, this LED light right here is 15 watts. Yeah, 15 watts. So this LED light, that right there is going to run you, if I left that on all night, that'd run a third of a kilowatt hour. Yeah, it's all about perspective. You know what I'm saying? The issue that people don't understand with electricity, Using electricity to generate heat is not an efficient use of electricity, and it's consumptive heavy. It's just it. So generating heat via a heat pump, it works, but when it gets cold, it doesn't work. Using electricity to generate heat via just all kinds of different things. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to use electricity to generate heat. It's dumb. Don't do that. Using electricity for things like this, yeah, absolutely. And when I'm saying electricity, I'm where I'm going with this is at the end, how you're going to get that electricity generated to begin with, where you're going to get it from, nuclear, fossil fuels, or renewables. One of those three things. Obviously, we should all be focused on nuclear. No one is, or very few people are. I guess France is actually, so cool to them. I think Germany was too. But you're just not going to heat your country with solar panels and wind. It's freaking stupid. It's just dumb. And everyone will say, well, the battery, we're only 10 years out. Man, I've heard that forever. I showed you this before. Jimmy Carter in 1978 said, the Wall Street Journal, Walter Mossberg, who used to be the tech writer for the Wall Street Journal, wrote that the Carter government felt that solar energy would provide over half of the U.S. energy, not just electricity, but energy by the end of the century. Here we are, 22 years since, and the solar just doesn't do crap, man. Look, I like solar. When I get my retirement home, I plan on getting solar panels 100%. I'll get a battery back for sure, but I'm still gonna be tied to the grid. Even my solar is not grid tied. I'm still gonna have I'm not gonna be off grid. I like being on the grid, but I want a secondary. I want natural gas, propane. You know what I'm saying? Something like firewood, all that stuff, just as in case. I mean, I have no qualm being tied to the grid. The issue is these freaking fools think, oh, we can all be grid independent. No, you just can't, man. You can't. Not if you want to live the way you're accustomed to. That's what I've been saying since day one. If you want this society, you have to generate electricity and energy as a whole. And you're not going to get it from solar and wind. It's just freaking stupid. You're just not. The numbers aren't there. Just half a brain, you say, we can't, this is not going to happen. Now, if they ever get batteries where they can hold a lot of electricity in there, well, that will change things big time. It ain't happening, man. It's just not. No, it's just not happening. Joe Biden will win Jeopardy round before we get batteries that are going to friggin' power an airplane, power a friggin' ship to move product from China to the United States, power your friggin' heat. It's just not going to happen. Should you have a battery bank with your solar? Absolutely, 100%. You want to store some electricity, but you're not going to have that for very long. You still need gasoline. You still need natural gas. You still need propane. You still need firewood. All right. But I love my Keurig. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think Oak Harvest, that's a guy that's kind of balding of their young guy, I think. Yeah, I like that guy. He's a good guy. So he's going, are they going all in on bonds or just in on bonds? Now, this is interesting. Minnesota gets dumped Social Security tax. Isn't that interesting? Good on them. See, that's why the states work so well. Competition, baby. Freaking Florida. Just think if we lived in a where we didn't have individual states. You know what I'm saying? Like in Canada. I don't know how Canada works. What did Trudeau just drop the freaking emergency mandates now or something like that? I'm not going to show it to you. All right. So right now, Germany, the freaking environmentalists are freezing up the roads to the airports. All right. So they're blocking the roads to the airports. That's what the environmentalists are doing. So if you're trying to get on your plane after a business meeting, go back home and see, your little Johnny, little Jenny, the environmentalists are blocking up the roads to freeze the airports. Now to close the airports. You can't do that. You can't freaking do that, man. You were not elected to do that crap. You can't. Yeah, it freaking pisses me off. It pissed me off when BLM did it. It pissed me off when the truckers did it. It pissed me off when these green tyrants do it. No one elected them to do that crap. Now, will they start chasing down the green people and taking their money? No, we know that. We know the system is biased. I mean, you know this. The idea that you're shocked that they're going to go after, right wing. I don't even know the right wing truckers or gay truckers. They're not truckers, but gay guys who represent the truckers and leave BLM to run rampant. If that shocks you, where you been? The government is there to grow the government. And the biggest way they can grow the government is with the leftist shock troops, man. It's just common sense. That means don't engage. You're not going to win. You're not going to win. All right, so let's keep going here. I saw my man here had so Chicken Charlie, how they're going to raise rates 5 times before an election with the market sinking. We'll see. I mean, they did it in 94. That's what theoretically cost Clinton the election. I don't think it was, but a lot of people attribute the election loss in 94 to the Fed raising. I don't think that's true, but be that as it may, you're going to raise rates to fight inflation that wasn't caused because of low interest rates. The whole freaking thing is stupid, man. And did you see in CBS? I think I posted on my YouTube channel. CBS says high inflation, high gas prices are because of the Ukraine threat or whatever. That's it, man. You guys are, again, the media doesn't carry the water for the Democrats. The Democrats carry the water for the media. Remember that the media is in control of the Democrats. The question is who controls the media. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure that one out. Anyway, so I thought I saw my man Kevin up in here. Had a quote right here. Got a lot of cash to re-enter the market. Been out for a year. Prices are lower now than when I got out. What should I do? I don't know. I keep buying a little bit as it goes down. Well, that's probably what you should do. Absolutely. Keep buying a little bit as it goes down. I mean, so you got out probably because Sniffy Joe. You're getting back in because the prices are down a little bit. That doesn't seem that doesn't seem rational behavior to me. You're saying I'm getting out. Why? I don't like Sniffy Joe. The prices are too high. I'm getting back in. Why? Because Republicans could take over Congress and the prices are down a little bit. Well, they're not down that much, man. Sorry. All right, so let's keep going here. All right. So how would I invest in? That's a good question. First, you should get my book. If I can find it. Strategic Money Planning. Yeah, see here someplace. You should get my book on that. All right. So I look, man, so let me just share with you what I'm doing again. All my money is going to my brokerage account. It's all going 100% in the total stock market index. All my money is going there. I'm assuming you don't have any money because you're only 22 years old or something like that. All your money should go to stocks, 100%. All right. And the reason for that is quite simple, because when the stocks get killed, you don't have enough money to make it hurt. Hey there, big guy. It's just not going to be hurtful because you don't have any money. And so because you don't have any money, it's just you can weather a storm really easily. And because you're still plugging, you'll be buying cheaper shares later on. There's no reason to build up bonds in your 20s. There just isn't any, 100%. All right, so you're working, you're young. I hope you don't have any debt. I mean, again, debt is the mortal enemy, in my opinion. Debt is slavery. Debt will keep you from doing the things you want to do. So I'm just telling you, man, it's forever the dilemma. Should you build up cash to buy a car? Yes. You just gotta avoid debt, JJ. And people say, oh, but you can do better in the stock market. Well, maybe. These people, I made a video about this earlier today, and I'm just going to say it again. These people who seem to have this incessant belief that the market never goes down, it always goes up. And I don't mean they're not saying that it never has a decline, but I'm just saying they think after 5 to 10 years, you'll always have more than you had. Just silly, man. That's just freaking silly because it has, and it hasn't really, by the way. But remember, we only have 8 real decades, maybe 9 decades now. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts, 9 decades, aughts and teens. 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, aughts and teens. We got 9 decades of basically modern era stock market stuff. We can go back to 1870s. It's just not worthwhile to do that. The modern era, you can say the Federal Reserve, or you can say when the S&P 500, you can say whatever you want. But basically 1926 is kind of what most advisors or most prognosticators would say is a modern era. We don't have that much track record. In the modern era, the 70s were bad, the 30s were bad, the aughts were bad. So of those 6 decades, 3 weren't great. That's just a fact. 80s and 90s were good. The 50s were good. I can't remember about the 40s. I just can't recall. But anyway, the 30, I can't remember. Anyway, but basically 3 of the 9, so 1/3 of the decades, they weren't great. They just weren't. The 80s, 90s, and I want to say the 80s, 90s, and the teens were freaking kick-ass take names. I don't think that's happening again. I think those days are gone. I'll just get the door again. And again, the reason I think that's quite simple. I think we've squeezed out all the stuff we can from globalization. I don't think there's cheap gains to be made anymore in earnings per share. Everything revolves around earnings per share. Doesn't mean there won't be any earnings per share. I just think the cheap numbers that we got from the 80s, 90s, and teens, those days are gone. I just believe that. Now, if I'm wrong, well, that's okay. I'm willing to take that hedge. That's why for you, I keep plugging money in and plugging money in and plugging money in, because I think if I am wrong, I want to be part of that. But I don't want to be right and have all my money in equities and still get a bunch of debt. That's what I don't want to have. So you got to watch your debt. Watch it like a freaking hawk, dude. I'm telling you. Man, in my hindsight 2020, I would freaking, obviously you got to build up cash. And again, for you, and what I would recommend your cash being would be just a good old fashioned total stock index. Keep plugging. You're putting $1,000 a month in there. It's $12,000. Market goes down 25%. You're down $3,000. Wow. You went from 12 to $9,000. That's not going to make or break you, man. It just won't. You know what I'm saying? And you're still plugging. So anyway, my man Chicken says he has 650 in Wellington, 150 in USA Close Fund. And I don't know what that is. Oh, there you go. All right, it's right on. He's got 800 and 900,000 bucks, and he retired at 51, no debt. That's right there, man. And if that's all his income right there, it's all tax free. All tax free. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Dwayne says my private pension will be taxed. Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that was up today was Wellington was down too. Like I said, I mean, remember, Wellington is 70% stocks. People act like I'm going all bonds. No. Yeah, thanks, James. Do I stack gold or silver? I do buy gold and silver once a year. And real gold and silver, not ETFs. Your doorbell transformer takes more power than any LEDs. It doesn't shock me in the least. I mean, it's 15 watts. It's just not a big deal. I mean, again, you can power this with, hey, buddy, 15 watts. It's just, this stuff is easy. Your lighting is easy to power as long as it's not incandescent. You know what I'm saying? But your fan, easy to power. All that stuff, easy to power. It's the hard things that have a big load. Good time to convert some IRA to a Roth? Probably. I mean, the markets are down for sure. Absolutely. Yeah, exactly, Sergio. And you would know who that guy was too, man. I got to close my door. Hold on a second. And Sergio, he got really, really upset with me. It's weird, man. I'm not sure what happened because of my being an advocate for reverse mortgages. Very strange. I mean, I don't like really mad. And I don't understand it. I'm like, why do you? It's weird, man. It's like people get upset at Wade Pfau because they think he's an annuity. He like pushes annuities because he works for, I can't remember what it was. I had a number of people, Wade Pfau, he's just an annuity, salesman. I was like, huh? It's weird. Like, because he works for an insurance company and he says annuities aren't bad. That's okay. That makes him an annuity salesman. It's weird to me, man. And this guy, I'm not going to say his name. Disappointing. No other way around that. I'm disappointed. I'm like, whoa, okay, that's kind of weird. Like, just really out of nowhere. He's been, harking against reverse mortgages since basically the start of this YouTube channel. Well, me and Sergio don't see eye to eye on all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's just weird. It's disappointing when you see these guys fall off. You're like, huh? I mean, okay. Just because it doesn't work for you doesn't mean it doesn't work for other people. And again, it's just like a firearm. A firearm is an inanimate object. It's neither good nor bad. It has no persona. It's nothing. It just sits there. This cup, I can hit you over the head and crack your head, or I could drink some hot tea out of it. And if itself, the cup has no personality, nothing. There's nothing. It's just an inanimate object. I don't understand annuities. Oh boy. Hold on. No. You're gonna have to make up your mind, buddy. What do you want? You coming in? Come on. There we go. All right. Let's make up our mind. I don't want to be doing this all night long, buddy. Come on. Pablo. Anyway, so it's just weird. So the guy called me a market timer. Well, he's the guy who follows a 200-day moving averages. No, Dana says, do I swim in my pool year round? I'm not paying the freaking cost to heat that sucker. I'll tell you that right now, Dana. Hells no. All right. Hey, right there, man. Northern Cavern, Maine. Look at my man Dana Dane and Northern Capitan. Yeah, that friggin' pisses me off. All kinds of new solar panels in Southern Maine. I just, the level of infuriation at the solar panels and at the wind turbines up there, just I think I still have the video actually. Hold on a second. Last time I was up there, I'm sure I do, because it infuriates me how we've fallen. It just infuriates me. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can't find that. The farmer's at today to get my raw milk. Big old turkey. I texted Chloe. I said, should we eat this for dinner tonight? She did not find that very funny. Pablo, you gotta make up your mind. All right. Dogs. Loving them. Loving every minute of it. Hold on a second. I'm going to find this video. Climate change. Biden administration freezes new oil and gas drilling leases after court rules against key tool. The same time they're worried about Russia and whatnot, they're going to freeze pipelines. That's fantastic, Sniffy Joe. Ay. Look at that, Justin Trudeau and his dad. Justin Trudeau's dad is Fidel, not Pierre. I'm going to find you. Hold on a second. We will find loving every minute of it. Loving every minute of it. Right here. Global coal consumption reaches new record high. In fact, I just read that with all the new coal coming out, there's impossibility for net zero. It's just impossible. It's all fake stuff. There's old United for Ukraine. That's going to show Putin. Pretty good article there. All right, we're going to find this. If I can find it. Hold on. I know you guys get impatient. You're like, dude, show me the video. It's coming right here. Here we go. There we go. Right there. Good job, Win. That's some fantastic work there, Win. You freaking scumbags. I hate wind turbines. Hate them. Hate them with a passion. It's like the dystopia freaking future. Annuities are bad or good. You probably wrote that before I was talking about it. They're neither. They're neither bad nor good. This phone, bad nor good. Oh man, I love wood gasifier. You know how to do that, Andrew? Are you talking about? It looks like you said wood gas fire. I'm not sure if you're saying gasifier. It looks like you are. Man, I love wood gasifiers. I would I'm just not that mechanically inclined. I would love to build a wood gasifier. I follow a bunch of people who do that stuff, and you can buy the specs. That's something I know I'd bite off more than I could chew. It just for me, I know my personality. Like, yeah, and then after about 2 days, like I don't want to do it anymore. All right. So Sergio says 65% VTI and 35% cash, using the cash bucket to value average in and out of the market. Yes. I mean, I like value average in, out of the market. Yeah, I got no qualm with that. I just, for me, I don't want to, right on. I don't want to, I just don't want to be actively managing my stuff. It bores me. I mean, it's just because it's like, I don't want to sit here and look like, I don't even know what I think the markets are down, right? Or yet, what were they? Maybe it was yesterday they were down. Oh, yeah. So here we go. So the markets are down again today. All right. So, weird, man. The yields went up. I would have thought the yields would have gone down on the 10-year treasury. If everyone's worried about war, that usually means government bonds go down or go up, but instead government bonds went down. That's strange. Nasdaq's been down 2.5%. Wow. So Nasdaq's just getting its butt kicked. Yeah, Nasdaq's gone from Nasdaq has gone from 16 to 13. Is Nasdaq in bear markets? Pretty doggone close. Nasdaq's down 18.75%. Whoa, that's pretty. S&P 500 is from, we'll say 48 to where we at now, 42. So S&P 500 is down 12.5. 12.5 is nothing, people. That's nothing. That's just breaking correction. What to do? There's JP Morgan does this chart. They say the average top to bottom on any given year is 14%. I mean, even when the years are way up, the S&P 500 will give you a 14% decline on any given year on average. So 12.5, we're not even at the average. It's just, and that's intra year, not a year over year. I think a lot of people forget that actually. This is nothing. 12.5%. Corrections happen basically every 1 to 2 years. So we're in a correction territory now. Wow, no big deal. Now, could it get a whole lot worse? Absolutely. And rule number one in investing, you freaking ride your winners and you sell your losers. I'm just telling you right now. Is 12.5% a sell of a loser? No, absolutely not. However, if you're like me and you're saying, look, I'm self-employed, the only income I have is doing this and talking to people, and most of it's contingent on positive gains in the markets. I'm just telling you, I know what happened in March of 2020. My business dried up pretty quickly, man, because people are like, oh, I get it. And I'm saying that if it happens again, I got to be better prepared, and I got to make sure my portfolio doesn't get hammered. Anyway, so Sergio, I don't know. I mean, I get it. You want to kind of go back and forth. I got no qualm with that in the least. For me, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. All right, my man, Brad Chabad says 2 years out from retirement. Awesome. Maynard and Tejas. Look at that. The Maynard and Tejas. Pooping while standing says science suddenly changes as the midterms loom. Wait, hold a second. Hey, babe. Who was that who was taking a poop outside in LA? Was that you saying that? Larry Elder. Yeah, okay. All right. So we like Larry Elder. My wife, I like Larry Elder. My wife follows him. And he said he had some friends who were sitting in a restaurant in some hoity-toity part of California, and some unhoused person just dropped trow and took a big old poop right there in the street. And I said, somehow this is acceptable. I just find that interesting because remember, we used to be civilized. You used to be civilized that you would not take a dump right in the middle of the street. But apparently nowadays, you can't ask the homeless to freaking go use a bathroom. And you got to wonder too, by the way, is because you think feces, does cause a lot of problems. All right. So I bet we'll start seeing, what's the one? There's a couple of diseases in the early part of the last century that we got. Measles, right? All these people think MMR got rid of measles. No. You know what got rid of measles was just good sanitary conditions. So if you just look at a chart, you'll see the rates of measles was way up here. Zoops, fell way off a cliff. Here comes the vaccine. The vaccine just got the glory because the media loves to portray that because the financial institutions that give them the advertising it's all intertwined, man. There's no other way around that. It was just look at a chart. Say, what was the case of measles before and after the vaccine? You're going to see one from the CDC that says the case of measles was way up here, then the vaccine hit and it was way down here. But then you scope back a little bit and you say, oh, based on the CDC, the case of measles was way down here relative to what it was before people started using your cleanliness techniques, washing your hands. Shocking. The interesting thing about polio, actually, I learned this today. I did not know this. That one of the things that hurt with polio was the fact we had better hygiene. So a lot of children were getting immunity from polio from passed down from the parents and mother's milk and whatnot back in the 1800s. Why? Because they did not have indoor plumbing and watering and stuff like that. So they, I hate to say it, but they still had crap on their hands. And as such, they had access to the polio, the virus, whatever it was, and they were able to beat it back. Very, very interesting, actually. But because they had all of a sudden flushing toilets and whatnot and more clean sanitation, they never got exposed to polio to begin with. And as such, they had it. Very interesting. So anyway, point being is now that washing our hands or taking a poop in a toilet is not in vogue anymore, some of these diseases will probably come back. Just remember that. I invite you to look up the research on measles. And you can see, did MMR actually cause that stuff to go away? I'm not saying it didn't because I don't want to get banned. I'm just saying at the end of the day, there's a whole lot more to the story. Oh, you're an anti-vaxxer. You want to keep those days of embarrassing me, which it never did, by calling me whatever you want. It doesn't fly with me. I just don't care. I'm too old to care. All right. Yeah, DeSantis, man. All right. So here's a good question. My hair is just, my wife gave me a haircut, by the way. Look at these locks. Look at these locks. Look at that. Hey, it looks like I used to have a cul-de-sac. We called it the cul-de-sac, my receding hairline. And it looks like it's stopping. Cool, man. Maybe it's that raw milk. Maybe the raw milk I'm drinking is giving me more testosterone to get my hair in there. Anyway, thanks again for the $2 super chat. And by the way, folks, if you want to jump ahead of the questions, super chat me and we'll get you on board. Oh, part 2 of this. I thought about this and I had forgotten about it. I am going to do a seminar or webinar, like an Ask Me Anything webinar for a select group of people, probably charge, $50 or something like that. Maybe get 20 people on, do it for 3 to 4 hours. Just ask me anything. I'll get some ideas and what stuff. I thought that'd be a lot of fun. And obviously it'll be, 20 of your closest friends and neighbors. But it'll be very restricted, frankly. But I do know people want to ask questions and they're willing to pay a little bit of money to get involved in that. And as such, that'd be kind of fun. And then we won't do it on YouTube. We'll just do it as a private webinar. And I think I'm going to start. I did that 2 years ago and I actually enjoyed it immensely. I just haven't had to do that. And I'll do it again, though. I think it'll be a lot of fun. And I think there'll be some value added to some people as well who say, hey, I got some questions. And it won't be specific to, what I mean is it won't be just a one-on-one. It'll be you and 20 of your favorite friends and neighbors who you don't know and they know who you are. But if you want to be involved in that, more to come on that, just FYI. That'll be fun. Anyway, so we'll get back to that. But anyway, again, if you want to super chat, you will get put to the head of the class, so to speak. That's so mean. Yeah. All right. So my man Maynard in Tejas says market timing, Roth conversions for 2022 now. So 12.5% is just not a big drawdown. It's just not. So sure, I got no qualm with that, but it was so obvious to me in March of 2020 to do the Roth conversions. And it's so obvious that people did it and they made a freaking crap load of money tax-free. But you know who didn't make a crap load of money? This guy, because I didn't even do it. It's like an idiot. I did do it last year. Stupid. It's freaking stupid, man. I was telling everyone, I said, man, I remember I was taking a walk and people were scared. I'm still freaking pissed how scared people were. I said, how can you not? I'm still mad. I'm not going to lie. I'm still mad at how this all shook out. I was reading some lady. It breaks your heart. Her husband died from I'm not going to say what, you could put 2 and 2 together. And she said, yep, I admit I was a sheep. We were both sheep. And now my 2 daughters have no dad. And she goes, and now the doctors don't want to admit anything. They don't want to do anything. It just it breaks your heart, dude. And she goes, I should never have believed these guys. I should have thought for myself, but now it's too late. So now I'm warning everybody else to think for yourself. And I'm just sitting there thinking, this sucks. That freaking kills him, man. And I don't, but they they had, some of her Facebook posts in the beginning say, just 2 weeks and we'll all be back to normal. 2 weeks, we'll all be back to normal. And then, all right, if it takes 3 months, we'll all be back to normal. Just go along, don't fight it. Just let's go along. And then the 4th and 5th month, because she had a photography business that she had no business. I mean, just shut down. They forced her to shut down. She's starting to get pissed off. I'm like, I'm praying for her 100%. Good Lord, I am. But I'm just like, you gave the evil freaking Campbell the nose to come in, and you can't do that. The tyrants that are the government, it wants to always expand its power, and they do it by fear, and you succumb to the fear because we're so damn soft. We're so damn soft and ignorant. And again, ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid. It just means you don't know. People don't know how to think by freaking design. I'll share the book I got about the American education, is how evil it is, man. It's not for critical thinking. It's to think like the good citizen you are. So check this out. I want to show you something. Did you know when they introduced the American Pledge of Allegiance? All right, let me show you something. All right, hold on a sec. When they introduced the American Pledge of Allegiance, y'all know when they did that? They did that during the Chicago World Fair. And there they are saying, right there, that doesn't look creepy. Right hand salute to the American flag. That's kind of creepy, because what was the Prussian model based on? The American model is based on the Prussian model, which wanted good citizens according to the people in charge. What makes a good citizen is what the people in charge say, not critical thinkers. Good citizens. That way we can send off to war when we draft them to fight for the Rockefellers and fight for the JP Morgans and fight for corporate America. It's all one and the same, man. It's all crazy. Did you know Elliot Roosevelt? You familiar with the story about that guy? I bet you're not. I bet you're not. And you would not be unless you read 1955 literature, the House of Rockefeller book. You would not know any of this stuff, because I didn't know it, and I'm pretty well read. And the reason is because good citizens don't need to know what the people at the top are doing. It's friggin' evil, man. It's evil. And as such, when the people at the top say, from freaking Neil Ferguson, who's never been right in anything, he probably puts his freaking left shoe on his right foot and his right shoe on his head because he's that dumb. But because he was the Imperial College of London, who gets their funding from? Oh, yeah. Jeremy Grantham, all the bigwigs, all the hedge funds, all that stuff. He puts out friggin' fear porn, and we all say, oh, and I'll never forget. And Joe Rogan kissed my big fat behind. I don't like Joe Rogan. He's a sucker, and he sucks. And the reason is because he interviewed a guy named Michael Osterholm from, was it Minnesota? And I'll never forget. And I used to listen to Joe Rogan on occasion. The guy never did much to me. I always thought he was a faker. I really did. I said, eh. Anyway, so the dude was interviewing this guy, and you can hear in Joe Rogan's voice the fear that Osterholm was saying. And as such, Joe Rogan reaches a soft group of young men, a lot of young white guys, kind of soft. They need a daddy in their life, and Joe Rogan serves this. I know I'm being very, what's the word I'm looking for? I get it. I 100%. I'm being very generalistic. 100%. I don't care. And as such, Joe Rogan serves that. He's a tough guy. He's got tattoos. He does a stupid fighting championship. I'll never forget listening to Michael Osterholm, and I was like, this guy. And I only heard clips because I don't subscribe. But I was like, this guy is scaring the hell out of Joe Rogan. And sadly, Joe Rogan is now going to scare the hell out of his audience. I could see that a mile away. And the reason was because Joe Rogan has no fear of God. He has no faith in the supernatural. He has nothing other than friggin' drugs. He wants to do mushrooms and stuff. And like, do whatever you got to do. But, when you're not bound in the supernatural creator, you want to live as long as you can and do whatever you can on this life to enjoy it to every second. And the minute a virus comes that you're scared because some guy from University of Minnesota, is Osterholm from Minnesota? Because that's where Ansel Keys was from. And there's something going on up there at the University of Minnesota. There's another guy from Minnesota too I was reading about. I said, man, there's some bad stuff coming from that university. I forgot who it was. Anyway, so the issue was that's what happened. And because people can't think, because they want to be told what to think, and they want to be too much, doing their online betting and their fantasy football, the bread and circuses, as Pulverizer said, they can't think for themselves. And as such, if Joe Rogan which is their daddy, says, comes across as scared crapless. They're going to get scared crapless. When Joe Rogan finally put his head out of his butt, it's too late. When freaking Brett Weinstein and his wife, Heather Heying, finally put their head out of the butt, it was too late. It was too late, man. And it just friggin' pisses me off because they're like, what? Why do you believe these people? When have they ever been right? I mean, that's the thing. If you're wrong all the time, at some point, you got to assume they're going to be wrong. Neil Ferguson, all these guys, man, the IMHE, all of them. All right, let's keep going. Oh, yeah. Why is anyone worried about Ukraine? Nothing to do about it. Yeah, exactly. Suddenly your noodles look pretty good. Interesting, huh? Oh, boy. Largest solar project in Maine coming adjacent to my property in Maine. Clearing 850 acres of productive forest to install panels. That's freaking insane. These freaking scumbags. All for global warming and being environmentalists. It's freaking evil. It's just to make the rich people richer. Man. And to think my mom used to take me to protest the Wisconsin nuclear plant up there when I was a baby. Because nuclear is scary. This is freaking scary, but no one's going to protest that. It's just the whole thing. Best thing about being a conspiracy theorist is you don't have to worry about it anymore. You recognize it's so far above and beyond anything that you can control, anything that you can do about it. All you can do is just live your best life. Obviously, as a Christian, you should live your best life and do whatever you can to devote yourself to God, be fearful of God, and do his bidding with all humanity that you can. But at the end of the day, it's nothing to do. I mean, the powers that be that run the world they're going to get away with whatever they want to get away with. There's nothing you can do about it, man. It's conspiracy. It's satanic. You know what I'm saying? And you should still preach the good word. You still recognize that God will win out. It's just the way it's going to be. But at the end of the day, it's like, whatever. I can't do anything about it. Oh, by the way, just because you can't do anything about it doesn't mean you don't get mad. It just says, I don't care. There's nothing I can do. The solar project is going to happen regardless of if I get frustrated, regardless of anything. It's going to happen. The powerful, rich interests, they want it to happen. It's going to happen, man. No two ways around that. The wind is going to happen. The idea of having solar projects in Maine it's just so freaking stupid. You think, what does Maine get? Portland, Maine probably gets 125 watts on average signing on the ground. That's it. All right. So if you take your trusty cubic per square meter. So let's see. Los Angeles gets 210. Maine probably gets 120 or so. So you take your trusty calculator. So they get on average 120 watts per square meter. So 120 times 24. That means per square meter, they're getting 3 kilowatt hours a day. That's it. All right. That's just nothing, man. For a square meter. Square meter is big, by the way. Before you think a square meter is not that big. That's pretty big. All right. So now they're getting 3 kilowatt hours per day on a square meter. All right. That's not what you're getting electricity. You're getting 25% of that on a pretty high efficient panel, by the way. We're going to get 35. We're going to get 35 efficiency. We did it in the lab. Yeah. Wake me when that's on their freaking market that you can put on your rooftop. It ain't there. It won't be. It'll never be. It's basic physics, man. So anyway, we get, we'll just say 3 kilowatt hours a day per square meter. You're going to get 30% efficiency of that. So you're going to get, that's 2 times point. You'll get 1 kilowatt hour per square meter on average in Maine. Now, the average is 24 hours a day, 365 days a week, 365 days a year, excuse me. All right. And so, I mean, some days it's cloudy, some days it's sunny, the whole thing. It's just what happens, though, is we know for a fact that in the summertime, you get more. In the wintertime, you get less. And as such, what are you going to do in the wintertime when you have less? You're going to have to store it someplace. Where? Where is it going to be stored? Where are you going to store it? Hey, right on. Yeah, that's fantastic. I love that. Right on, man. Watch out for old Denise, though. Old Denise is up to something. Always up to something. Governors, yeah, what I'm saying. Hey, base anthropologist. Now that sounds fantastic. You got a YouTube channel? A base anthropologist. Ooh, I love that. Right here, James. I know from experience the market could go down for the long term. I'm telling you, man, but it's not even, we have tons of experience on this. tons. And again, I think it was the Dow. I can't remember. From 1929, it took till 1954 for you broke even. I did the thing on the S&P 500 today. I can't remember how long it took, 20 years or something like that. But I'm just telling you, people they look at the averages as if that's I don't want to say guaranteed. No one thinks it's guaranteed. They look at the averages as if that is, what's the word I'm looking for? Definitive, I guess. And it's just not, man. Okay. All right. Denise says, I avoid debt, start investing up to employer match. Yeah, all good stuff. I'm not supporting Trump. I'm supporting DeSantis. I'm not convinced Trump wasn't part of the whole thing. I know that really makes a lot of people mad. I'm not convinced. I don't know if Trump knew it, frankly. I don't know. I like Trump. He was for 3 of the 4 years, he's the best president of my life by far. He did some stupid stuff. Sessions let him down. And I don't blame Trump for that. I blame Sessions. But then he nominated the head of the big pharma to run HHS. The Department of Labor, he nominated the guy who let off Jeffrey Epstein. Personnel is, you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's policy. Personnel is policy. He had just some crappy people in there, man. And I was disappointed in Jeff Sessions too. I was expecting a lot more out of him. But the big ones are the big pharma guy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. said that he was talking to Trump when Trump was getting ready to take office or something like that. And this is after the election, before the inauguration, and Trump was going to open up the records for the vaccine stuff. And then something happened to Trump where I guess Pfizer or the big pharma, they contributed both. I don't know what happened. I mean, I can't prove this. RFK Jr. can't prove it. But just all of a sudden after that, RFK Jr. was persona non grata. And trust me, if you think RFK Jr. is a right winger, you don't know RFK Jr. Who is RFK Jr. ranking on about? He wrote something about being fascist, racist. I forgot who it was. It was somebody that I'm reading, and RFK Jr. had written a book or written an article say that guy's fascist, racist, John Bircher. I forgot who it was. I said, man. And then remember the whole point about there will be no more snow like we're used to. That was written by RFK Jr. He had written that back in the beginnings of the 2000s. He's a big global warming fearmonger. He's since, I think maybe removed that to some degree, and now is focused on the damages that what causes. But trust me, RFK Jr. is not a right wing freaking crazy man. He's just not. We don't have the snow I used to have when I was growing up. I remember reading that from that guy, and then just be on the same side is amazing to me. But anyway, so the point being was that he had Trump. He said Trump was ready to release the data on the vaccines, and he got something happen, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, he's not, and he's got the HHS or something like that being run by big pharma. Sad. It sucks, man. It breaks your heart because you're like, man, all we had to do is release the data, and that once enough for all. Let's solve this riddle if this is dastardly or not. And it didn't happen. Sad. And then just on time, the whole thing with the pandemic. I know people get mad at me for this. I don't care. Trump should never fall for it. He just should never have fallen for it. And he did. He fell for it. He said we're going to open up by Easter. He did not. And that was the end of the game right there. When he did not open up by Easter, I knew it was the end game. I'll never forget that. He should never close down for 2 weeks. Look, I get it. Politically, it's going to be tough to stand firm. I get it 100%. But remember the Democrats. Hug a Chinese guy, you know what I'm saying? Go down to Chinatown. It's racist, all this stuff. That was in February. You are one loud, come on. You're one loud dog. Yes, you are. You know what I'm saying? That was in February. They were saying that. Go to Chinatown, hug a Chinese guy. Trump's racist because they do not fly list and all this stuff. And then he just capitulated, man. And then he went after Brian Kemp. He went after Sweden. He just is because they played him. It was in the middle of an election year. All said, come here, buddy. All right. Oops, excuse me. We're not ready for this yet. I'm still got another hour, guys. Oh, yeah. Antibodies. Give me my antibodies. That's the best vaccine you can get. Right there. Nope. Step on my computer, please. Thank you. Oh, okay. There you go. Wow. All right, let's keep going. Right here. I quit my crap bill job. Thanks for the encouragement. Got married. No debt. 401k pension. 2-year emergency fund. What do I do with $5,000? Give yourself buy something, man. I don't know what you do with it. You're looking good, Mary. I mean, enjoy it. Have fun. Take a vacation. Right here. Wellington is a sleep well at night fund. 100%. Marie out of PA says she hasn't looked at her IRA since a downturn. Good. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I did some potatoes. I find electricity just fun. I find it amazing. Just taking just the idea that for 100, I mean, how long have humans being on this earth? You know what I'm saying? And just the idea that we could not make electrons move, and all of a sudden out of nowhere, we can make electrons. I find it fascinating. I find it incredible that just out of there's volts. It's great. I love it. I love electricity. Any thoughts on Paul? Oh, Paul Merriman. Yeah, I got no problem with him. He's big on small cap value. Or he used to be. I don't follow him. I've read a couple articles by him. I've done a couple of videos on him. The small cap value stuff is way overblown. And I assume Paul still is, but again, you take away the years from 76 to 82 or 76 to 83 or something. There's like a 5 to 6 year time at the end of the 70s and early 80s that small cap value just smoked everything else. You take away those years, small cap value has done nothing more or less than the S&P 500 with a whole lot more risk. But a lot of these guys, they'll see the track record of small cap. I did. I fell for this for many years. You see the track record of small cap value, and it's done significantly better than the S&P 500. But you got to dive into that. You got to say, is that true? And the answer is, it's true, but it's true only because he's 6 years from 76 to 83 or something like that. You miss those 6 years, it just did the S&P 500 with a lot more risk. So, yeah. So anyway, I got no qualm with that, though. I mean, in terms of and that's just nitpicking, man. It's just nitpicking. But a lot of people fall for this stuff, the small cap value facade, if you will. Other than that, I got no qualm. I don't know what his take on international markets. My pet peeve, again, is going back to modern portfolio theory, efficient market frontier. All these things are, Paul Samuelson's of economics, the Harry Markowitz with all their math and stuff. It's all just fake, man. It's physics envy. We want, economics, financial planning, investment profession just wants to be taken seriously, like a hard science. And so we develop these, models that no one can follow. You can't explain to anybody. They're meaningless, and yet it looks like we're a hard science, and we're just not. We're a soft science. It's just no other way around that. It's like political science, man. It's not science. It's just it's freaking stupid. It's embarrassing. And then physics has math envy. We know that. So everyone wants to be a math because the world is dominated by mathematicians. And it's sad because you don't need to do that, but yet that's what happened in the investment world, which is why you have these CFAs where there's models that are just meaningless. Black-Scholes, it's just stupid, man. CAPM, capital asset pricing model, all that stuff is stupid. It means nothing other than it keeps people employed in academia and by paying big hedge fund fees. It's stupid. Don't. That's why I just follow Bogle right here. Bogle talks. This is what Bogle's pet peeve is that the investment industry is getting rich off the back of the investors who are too damn ignorant to know that they're paying for less performance. And Bogle will explain why that's the case. And I don't want to get into it too much here, but at the end of the day, I just don't feel like getting into it. But anyway, at the end of the day, you cannot beat the market when you factor in fees. You can't. Can somebody? Yes. Basic statistics. There will be someone who beats the market net of fees. The vast majority of people won't net of fees. It's just impossibility. The market gives you an average rate of return of 8 inherently. Gross of fees, some people get 10, some people get 6. Net of fees, the person who had 10 gets 9, the person who has 6 gets 5. Thus, the average in that regard is 7. The average market is 8. So the point is you want to capture as much of the average market as you possibly can with just basically low cost index funds, and you will be a good substantial majority, if not the vast majority, of your peers inherently. It's just the way it has to be. I used to compare this, and I haven't done it for a while, so I'm going to butcher this, to an NFL team. You know what I'm saying? The average NFL team until this stupid year now was 8-8. That's it, man. 8-8. Some people did better. Some people did worse, without question. And people say, well, I'm going to bet on this team that does better. Well, yeah, because you're betting on a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Aaron Rodgers or something like that. But if you're betting on him to go to the Super Bowl, that doesn't make any sense. But the point being is, at the end of the day, each team, an average, is going to finish 8-8. There's just no other way around that, man. And as such, we know for a fact. Now, football is a little bit different because some teams can be 2-14 and other teams can be 9-7. It is a little bit different. But if you factor in at the end of the day that the average NFL team in NFL is 8-8, you can't beat it. It will be that, if that makes sense. And I did a blog post when I had my Josh Scanlon blog, and I don't think I have that out there. I wish I still kept. Before I got on YouTube, I was doing a bunch of blogs on joshscanlon.com. Great blogs. Loved them. I did a great blog. My favorite blog I ever did was on vaccines, and I forgot to save it, and I lost it when I changed servers. Still to this day, it kills me. I did another article on NFL versus the average investment returns, and I can't find that anymore either. I don't have the time or patience to redo these blogs now, but it's too bad. Let's keep going. All right, so make sure you guys contact each other. Don't know how to do it, but that's cool. My man says Tooth Fairy needs to be recognized inflation and raise. Tooth Fairy needs to recognize inflation and raise from $5. And no, it's not because the tooth. I kind of get that. I'm not quite following it. Oh yeah, Denise is very triggered. She's a very triggerable person. Oh, boy. Hey, Kentucky, Macomb, Michigan, right on. Right. On your electricity manager, are you running a smart thermostat? I am not. I am not running a smart thermostat. Oh boy, Dad had a cat, and for years, Dad's hobby was letting the cat in and out and in and out. He loves Park, Illinois. There's beaches in Illinois. Who knew? Do I ever advise for heck of a loan to buy? Yeah, absolutely. My full intention, man. My full intention right there. Selling this house, taking the proceeds, buying a home with a reverse mortgage, 100%. You know what I'm saying? But you'll never have any. What they say? But you'll never. What's the naysayer say? You won't leave anything to your kids. Well, for that house, maybe not. I'll have. I hopefully have other things to leave to the kids, but I'm not all that worried about that, man. Yeah, absolutely. Heck, I'm alone for buying a home after 62. Freaking absolutely the way to go. I just don't get why people are so against that. It's weird to me. Because of fees. You ever done a refi, guy? Not my man here. You ever done a refi? How much are the fees on a refi? Why is there mortgage insurance on a home equity conversion mortgage? Why? Because it's a non-recourse loan. What does non-recourse loan mean? It means you cannot leave your kids with a debt. The government, i.e. the taxpayer, is on the hook. And the government, i.e. us, they want assurance that we're not going to be on the hook for something that's freaking $600,000 underwater. So how do we do that? Well, we charge you, was it 50 basis points a year? I can't remember what the fees are off the top of my head. I know there's a one-time fee and then an annual fee or monthly fee too. I'm very comfortable with that. No one's going to pretend these fees don't exist. I mean, I guess they could, but they're going to pay fees. I'm no problem with that. Doug says, split the turkey, tenderize it, bread it, and fry it. Vanguard Wellington versus Vanguard Utilities. Why? I mean, I get where you're going with this, Keith, but I mean, just utilities are, why not just do both, actually? My father loves his cat more than he loves his children. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Identify as a feline. Who's going to say you're not? All right. So why is your Roth left in stocks? What about your, okay. So I don't have $4 4-year bucket of cash, my man, Eric. The reason I know him is I'm not retired, not anywhere close to it. I'm still making a living. You see what I'm saying? So my emergency fund, I'm not going to find it, but by the way, you guys remember this? It was good times, good times. You guys remember this? That's why I'm going through it. Who's that? Oh, is that Pfizer? No, man, Pfizer? About EpiPens? No way. Check this out. I mean, that's not cool, man. The Department of Agriculture used to give these things out and how to, you know what I'm saying? This is back when we, I just, Farmers Bulletin, Department of Agriculture, drying crude drugs. As before the drug industry took over everything, when the government said, no, you can do it. Anyways, looking for my, long story short, my emergency fund consists of enough to pay 3 months of mortgage. Probably a little bit more than that. I have a home equity line of credit. I have nothing on it, just in case. And I make income. And it's because I'm making income, my hope is I never have to tap into an emergency line of credit. I have to tap into my cash holdings. All right, so that's my first defense. But I'm not putting 4 years of cash. Well, I'm 51. I'm still working. No way, man. That's way too conservative. You just can't afford that, in my opinion. Now you could. I was fine, but not me. I'm more willing to sell markets that are down significantly than I am to keep a bunch of cash just sitting there idle. I'm not going to do that. I just can't. Look, man. I'm still pro stock market. Just because I went Wellington on the big portion of my account, I'm not against the stock market at all. And when I say stock market, you got to remember what the stock market is. It's the companies that you frequent each and every day, my friends. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's this. Everyone thinks it's a gambling thing. It's not gambling. These are companies that have earnings that pay dividends, or they expect to increase the earnings that you have a higher increase in price per share. I like stocks that pay a dividend, frankly, because I think at the end of the day, the increasing earnings is speculative. Just because someone's willing to pay more for a future increase doesn't mean they will. A dividend, though, is cash money back into my pocket that either I can take as cash or reinvest in more shares. I just like dividends. You can say dividends are not efficient. That's fine. I don't care. All these people are trying to I don't understand it, where they're saying, hey, I'm going to prove this white paper from whatever, Wharton, that dividends are inefficient. And my man, who was it there? I like Meb Faber. I forgot the name of his company. Big fan of Meb. He talks about that. I frankly don't care. I don't care about the inefficiency of dividends. I like the cash that comes with it. And what happens with a company that pays dividends is generally, not all the time, but generally they're going to be a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? A little bit less, they're more guarding of the money, if that makes sense. Because if they have to cut a dividend, the first thing people are going to do is like, why? What did you do in management to make this dividend have to be cut? You see what I'm saying? I like dividends, always will like dividends, and that's not going to change. Can dividends be cut? Yes. Can dividends be manipulated by taking a crap load of debt to pay the dividend? Yes, 100%. I know all this stuff. Can ROI, return on investment, be goosed by taking leverage? 100%. Welcome to the world of investing. However, I go to Costco, there's still people there who are buying product. At some point, that will reflect back in the earnings. I don't know what the PE of Costco is right now because I frankly don't care that much. But the idea that Costco is going anywhere anytime soon, or it's a gamble, it's not a gamble. The idea that I don't like to go to Walmart often, but I go to Publix. So here's Costco. It's trading at $4.95. It's got a price to earnings ratio of 42. It hardly pays any dividend at all. So that's a relatively high PE ratio, but still making money. It's not broke. I don't know what the debt is. I just don't know. Imagine a company like that probably has a lot of debt. I don't know. Let's go to Apple. Again, another one. Apple, tons of cash. So here's Apple. PE ratio is 26. Got a dividend of 0.5%. I would not call that a growth stock, though. Just a boatload of cash sitting there. I mean, I have no idea how much cash they have per share. I don't know. Maybe we could find that out. I just don't feel like it. But anyway, the point, look at it. Apple is $2.6 trillion freaking dollars, man. Remember when it just broke a trillion, like in 2016? It's 2.6 trillion. It still has a price to earnings ratio of 26. It's an amazing stock. That's not gambling. I can't stand freaking Facebook, and I'm not on Facebook and, whatever, but what is Facebook? I don't even know what Facebook's symbol is. Meta. There we go. They got a PE of 14. 14. I mean, look at Facebook. Damn, man. It might be something you want to throw 100, buy 100 shares in. They're down from 370, 380 down to freaking 198. Holy crap, man. 380 minus 198 divided by 380. They're down 48%. That's interesting. There's Facebook. That's what I'm talking about. Keep dropping there, Zuckerberg. Wow. I like to see that. Let's look at Publix. I'm not even sure I'm not sure what Publix is traded. Huh. Here's one that if you have a broker like an Ed Jones, I don't know what it is, but Ed Jones loves Public Service Enterprise Group, public storage. Every time I looked at an Ed Jones statement, you'd have public storage bonds in there. The weirdest flipping thing, man. I never understood that. They must have been the issue of the bond. I don't know. I always said, what is it with Ed Jones and public storage? Is the weirdest thing. Anyway, let's look at UGI. So I've taken on the chin on UGI. Yeah, that's down. I can't remember what I bought it at. Got a PE ratio of 7.4, has a 3.59% dividend yield. I mean, I'll take that. I have no idea. I looked at some numbers before I bought this. I only put 100 shares in here. But I have no idea what's going on. I just don't know. I don't really care that much because I don't intend on selling this for any time soon. I bought a while ago. Was it Principal Financial? Yeah, PFG. There it was. Yeah. So here's Principal Financial. Price to earnings of 11. Has a 3.6% dividend yield. I've had this for almost a year now. I think I got it 60, in the 60, low 60s. Yeah, okay, there you go. You can say I just don't pay that much mind because the dividends just keep paying every quarter. Pay, build more shares. Every quarter, pay, build more shares. Anyway, so Principal is gone down from 79 to 69, so they're down by 10 on 79. They're down 12%. But yet, I'll take that any day of the week because I'm getting dividends on a quarterly basis that are buying me more shares at a lower price. Can't get that in non-dividend paying stocks. Can't get that in Tesla. Can't get that in Amazon. You can get it in something that pays a dividend. When the price goes down, those dividends pay. They force a dollar cost average. I'm telling you, man. And then I had, what's Exxon? I haven't looked at Exxon for a while. So I bought Exxon. I forgot what I bought it. I think I sold it at, I buy it at 40 and I sold it at 62. I think I did. Now it's at 76. Yeah. So, yeah. So basically, it's off from 82, but it's still well above what I sold it at. It sold at 62, kind of fiddled along, and then it jumped crazy from 61 to 81 in the course of about a month. Yeah. Anyway, good times. Yeah, so Harry's now in a stable value fund, Tesla. Thanks, Jeff. Energy controls everything. Actually, I think it's beyond energy anymore. I do think there's a cabal. Let's put it that way. And the cabal is they control everything. And I think the path to getting the cabal is through Standard Oil, the Rockefellers, those guys, not just the Rockefellers, not just the Rockefeller Foundation, but all came from the oil company Rockefeller. And as such, they spread their wings out to many places. BlackRock now. It's some evil crap, man. Evil crap. All right. So any words from us? Those are very near taking the early retirement plunge before the market downturn. The market downtrend makes me think, should I or shouldn't I? Jeez, man. Love you, Randy. I don't get it. 12.5%. And that's just all stocks. So let's just take a look at what's VBMFX. VBMFX. Right. So the Vanguard Total Bond Fund is at 1179 on August 6, 2020. It's at 1074 now. So basically, it's at down $1.05, 5 by 11.79. It's down 9%. All right. So if you had a 50-50 portfolio, your stocks are down 12, your bonds are down 9. So you're down, what's that, 10.5%. Okay, that's a drop in the bucket compared to a lot of down markets. Let's see what our old favorite Ginnie Mae is doing. And of course, that when I'm talking price, I'm not even talking about the interest that you're getting. You're not getting much interest, just FYI. But down 8.9% price is going to be down less than that because you're probably getting 2 to 3% interest there. So you're probably only down 7% when you factor in interest. We're just talking price. VFIIX. Let's take a look at what everybody's favorite bond fund, the Ginnie Mae. All right, so Ginnie Mae was trading at 1084 in April of 2020. So that's 2 years ago. Now it's at 1028. 1084 minus 1028, 556 cents on 1084. It's down 5%, and over the course of that time, you got about a 2 to 3% dividend interest. So you're down about 2% in 2 years. There you go. That's why I love Ginnie Mae. Right there, man. Look, man, I don't know. You got to do what you got to do. The way I see it is you got one life to live. That's it, man. And, if you want to grind away a couple more years to wait for the market to come back, be my guest. I don't get it. I just don't. But, if you don't want to do that and the market goes down another 15%, are you going to be broke? Because when I'm running models, I run them always for the significant downside risk. And if you're coming out ahead with a significant downside risk, then you're going to be okay. Most likely, I can't guarantee that. But if you're running your models, you should run them with significant downside risk. And a 12.5% decline in stocks should already be baked into the system and your models, man. That's all there is to it. But so let me ask a question. So Randy says, I can't, 12.5% decline is bad. All right, fast forward till the end of 2023. Now it's at 12%. It's become a 37% decline. You think, is Randy more likely less to retire? Well, he's going to stay working. All right, so now 2 years that he could have retired are gone. Why? Well, because the market is down that much more. Well, it's going to take at least another 3 to 4 years to get back to where he was. So now we're 6 years that we could have been retired, but we won't retire because the markets. That just seems silly to me. But be it as it may. Screw freaking Ukraine. I mean, I love Ukrainians. I'm just saying we should have nothing to do with this crap. There's one, Josh, to expand on my SC super chat. If nothing else, if not anything for the response. What was the super chat again? Did we see it up here? I don't even know what it was. All right. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Yeah, look at that. My man Brad, sitting on a beach in Illinois. He's put $2,500 a month in the market. I mean, that's freaking $30,000 a year. You buy Tesla's bargain prices. Right. The gasifier part is really simple. You just direct the output. Yeah, but you got to make it. That's what I'm saying. Is how you make it. I mean, with these various barrels and all this. You ever watch my man, Mr. Thessalonian? Wow, let's look at Mr. I haven't looked at Mr. Teslonian in a while. Bear with me just a second. This guy just freaking love Mr. Teslonian. I haven't watched his videos for a while. Oh man, where have I been? So let's watch Mr. You want to see some redneck engineering, man? This guy, Mr. Teslonian, yeah, right here. Right. Oh, look at that. First thing that comes up, Mr. Teslonian gasifier. I love a gasifier. I just don't have that mechanical mindset. I just don't. I can barely make dinner, even though the freaking like color by numbers. I can still barely do it. Wood stove over tomorrow makes fuel and runs a generator from smoke. That's Mr. Teslonian. This guy is just one of my favorite YouTubers. Biomass and waste gasifier. Oh wait, we're going to go to how to build a wood gasifier from easy materials. My truck runs on firewood. There is my man, Mr. Teslonian. Let's just, all right, let me, yeah, you guys should sign up for Mr. Teslonian. If you like engineering stuff, and I like to watch it. I don't have the brains for this. Tesla turbine, aircraft engines and electric hybrids, bladeless Tesla turbine, no noise design, turbo ramjet, air compressor converted to an engine. Oh, he's got a new channel. All right. Homemade Tesla turbine, water ram pump. Oh my goodness. Man, y'all can see that? Yeah. Fastest gold classifier ever seen. Designing a stealth engine. This guy's just a freak. Homewood wood gas stove, how to start a gasifier. Ah, man, Mr. Teslonian. Stirling cycle power Tesla turbine runs on external something. Geothermal or solar. Look at that. External combustion. Yeah. Anyway, lots of fun stuff on Mr. Teslonian. I'm a big fan. Long time, first time. Who else I got on here? I don't. This is my other channel, by the way, Josh Scanlon. I haven't been on this for a while because I'm not but who else we got? We got BC Truck, BC Blades. I've been following him for a while. Yeah, so all right, he's doing all right, my man here. How to make your generator quiet. How to drill a shallow well by hand. Ooh, that was pretty good. How to back up a trailer. American Homestead. Albo Pepper. I haven't seen this guy for a while, man. Albo Pepper. He was pretty good too. We got Al Swigart. What was he? He was pretty big, if memory serves. Who was this guy? Python. Yeah, see that stuff. Bring back the farm. Chris Fix. Y'all heard of Chris Fix. This guy right here is out of South Carolina. Filling up the roof of solar. Engineering explained. Yo, big. Forgot this guy's name. This guy is just that guy. I forgot his name. He's a pretty interesting guy. HHO gas technology. Ice Age Farmer, man. Love my man, Ice Age Farmer. Christian over here, Ice Age Farmer. Anyway, let's go back to questions. Lots of good stuff in here, man. That's why I love YouTube. Tons of stuff in YouTube. Ice Age Farmer. What do you say? Live. The future is fertile. That's what it says. The future is fertile. Let's see what we got. Bruce, que pasa? Jeff's gonna buy the dip. Right on, man. I got waiting list, but oh man. Where do you live, Andrew? I'd love to watch you do something like that. Oh man, that's what I'm saying. I can't do that crap. I wish I could. I just not see. That's what I'm saying. Like I got the freaking, freaking murder by numbers thing. Like was that Sting guy? Murder by numbers for making stuff. For like doing dinner for, just step by step. And I just don't have the capacity in that lump of coal up here to follow it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's ADD, I don't know what it is. But I can do it, but it's always half-assed. It's never the way it's supposed to be. I'm like, damn. That Simpsons commercial, the Simpsons video where Homer's putting together a freaking grill? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I love to read. It's not like I'm stupid. I can read all day long and read hard stuff. But when it comes to following directions, do that like, and that's why I got to get my better half, Charlotte, she can do this in 2 seconds flat. I'm like, I don't get it, man. It frustrates me to no end. I can't do it. It actually pains me. So I had what did I have? I'm like, it was easiest. I can't remember. I had something in a box. I'm like, oh, now I got to take this apart and set it up. So I don't want to do that. I'm just not good at it. And it's okay. I've acknowledged that. I wish I were. I'm not. My brain doesn't function like that. It's funny. But Charlotte can do that crap in 2 seconds flat. She can see it. Calvin, my son, he can see it too. He's like, all right, that's it. Not me. I'm telling you, I'm like Homer putting that freaking thing together. I'm like, damn. That's why I'm surprised how I made it through the Army. Because I was like, in the Army, we didn't have to do all that much stuff, but you still got to put rifles together. You still got to put your LBEs on and stuff. And you still got to put, I was like, man, I was always one of the slowest guys. I always was. Can't help it. I was able to, put strip after you do it so many times an M60, because that's what I was, M60. You get pretty good at that, but I was never going to be top shelf. You know what I'm saying? After a while, you can do that in your sleep if you do it enough. But what kind of skill set is that? Not much. Let's see. Murder by numbers. 1, 2, 3. It's as easy to learn as your ABCs. Good evening, Minnesota. Oh, dude, that's gotta feel great having no mortgage. That's awesome, Brad. I don't know what the hell Beba is. What the hell is that? I just think of Beba O'Reilly. As a paratrooper in 82nd, put us on the border of Ukraine is nothing but a tripwire. All right. Armor is a better signal if something were to happen with Russia. All right. Yeah, right on. It's the great thing about growing older. You just laugh at those who are so empathetic without those substance to back their position. I say, right? Yeah, you are so right. It's so special. That's pretty good. We paid our mortgage off 2 years ago. Debt free, makes early 100%, man. All right. Hey, thanks. Usually when people say enjoy your wealth management and retirement discussions, they say they don't like my other discussions. See these pearly whites? Watch, they're going to get even whiter because my raw milk diet. All right. The evil tyrant Justin is pressing for more even power. I thought he just got rid of thought they just went back on the stupid emergency power thing. Yeah. There's already a typhus pandemic in downtown LA before the pandemic. Wow, come on, Pablo. Yeah, Osterholm. Just like Fauci, they love the sound of their own voice, 100%. Oh no, man, Rogan it's just boring. Look, he's a good interviewer. I'm not gonna lie, and I appreciate he gave some guys, Malone. I don't think he did Pierre Corey, Malone and some other guy. He gave him a chance to speak. I appreciate that, but there's no opposition that's going to get 100 or 200 million from Spotify. It's just not going to happen, man. Just the idea that Joe Rogan's like the right-wing guy now. This is where the right's been corrupted. The same trucker thing too, man. I was listening. I don't want to get too deep in this because it'll offend some of you guys, but I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know. If Joe Rogan and the truckers, BJ Dichter, are the standard bearers for the right, we've done lost our minds. That's all I got to say about that. And I'm just sitting there thinking, look, I got no qualm having a Big Ten. I just don't. But and look, I'd rather these guys than friggin' AOC any day of the week. But I'm like, it's an odd right wing thing here. And I think it's cool. I'm pretty cool with having a Big Ten. At the end of the day, Joe Biden was a supporter of Bernie Sanders and Michelle Obama. It's unforgivable. Unforgivable. You can't be, and I'm not saying he even wants to be a standard bearer for the right. I'm not saying that, but a lot of right wing guys is watching somebody says, support Joe Rogan. I'm like, friggin' Joe Rogan, come on, man. Jeez. Yeah, just nah. Yeah, I agree with that 100%, Darlene. Soft white underbellies, yep. Yeah, Monte Carlo, every single back testing doesn't mean crap, man. Now, look, I'll do it. I mean, I did it in my book, Retire on Wellington Fund back testing, but it doesn't mean anything. It's just this history, man. You know what I'm saying? So Monte Carlo is the only way to go, but then you got to assume. Look, and I get it. Monte Carlo has some deficiencies, 100% get that, but you throw a standard deviation there, and I think I use an 18 standard deviation for stocks, which would give us 18 times 3 minus 6.5. Yeah. So basically on any given year, you could be down 47.5 and what I use in my software, which is worse than 2008 and 1930, I think 1930, something like that. But the two worst years, 2008 and 1930 or 31, in my portfolio assumptions, I give you a 6.5% rate of return with an 18% standard deviation. If you can survive that, you're pretty good. Now, I mean, again, that doesn't include the black swan that Nassim Nicholas Taleb talks about. How do you plan for a black swan? You can't, man. I mean, how do you model a black swan in a Monte Carlo? You can't. I mean, that's like I'm going to model, us getting nuked on April 30th, 2027. Well, that's stupid. That's not planning. That's complete speculative. Kind of like modeling for a long-term care event. I mean, how do you model for that? Yeah, you can't because you have no clue if it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how much. You have no idea. So you do the best you can do. And you say under normal times with some volatility in there and some potential expenditures, if you want to say, you're looking pretty good, or you're not. One of those two things. But if you got if I'm using the 18% standard deviation, so remember, that means 99.8% of the time, your portfolio will be between a certain on the positive and a certain on the negative. Now, the 0.1 on each side is the black swan. Hey, buddy. There's no way to model for that. You just can't. So the 99.8% of the time, if we're using a 6.5% average rate of return, which I do, which is well below historic numbers, plus an 18% standard deviation, which is well above historical numbers. I'm hitting you on the head twice. I'm saying bad news for getting average rates of return well below historic, and bad news for getting downside risk well above historic. If you can come out okay there, you're looking pretty good, man. That's the way I look at it. And well less than average rates of return. What else can you do? I mean, you can make it even worse. Say, well, I don't think 6.5% is good. And I say, why? And you have to come up with a reason why. And I have a reason. It's fundamentals. It's 4.5% earnings growth year over year plus 2% dividends. It's just that simple. No more, no less. Now, people could say, well, the PE ratios are too high. And say, I don't buy that for 2 seconds flat. The reason that they're higher than historical is because the rates on bonds are lower than historical, and bonds rates are not going up to historical norms. It's just not going to happen. I mean, it could. I always have to, say that it could. Some guy asked me, I forgot what he asked me. He goes, "Why did you stay in stocks or something like that? If you think markets are," I can't remember what it was. I said, "Because I might be wrong, man. I don't know. You don't know. It's okay to say I don't know, but I'm going to protect both sides." And so when I'm running numbers, I'm like, look, at the end of the day, I might be wrong. If I'm wrong, I want to be able to capture at least some of the other side of the equation if I'm wrong. But again, I don't expect, and I don't think anyone should expect, that interest rates ever go up to the norm of a 5.5% to 6%, or even a 5% 10-year treasury. The U.S. can't afford it. It's just we don't have money to pay those kind of interest payments. We just don't. And as such, it ain't going to happen. It's just not. And so if that's not going to happen, and you can say, well, the markets are at the all-time highs relative to PE ratios, I said, yeah, because the interest rates are still treading at their all-time lows. It doesn't mean they'll keep at those all-time lows forever. They might get off it like we are right now. We're off our lows. But 2% 10-year treasury is still pretty doggone cheap relative to historical norms. And if you think that's going back up to 5, all right, well, that's a 250% increase in 10-year treasury yields. Where's the money going to come from the U.S. government to pay those debts? It ain't going to. They don't have it, man. It's not going to be here. All right. On top of that, what else comes with higher interest rates? Oh, how much more we got to pay for Social Security, the cost of living, all that stuff. It all filters down there. There's no way those rates are going up. And if they do, 2.5% increase in 10-year Treasury rates, you'd see a pretty significant decline in stock market because fight the Fed. You don't want to fight the Fed. If rates are going up by 2.5 times, stocks are going to get killed. And it's just not. I mean, look, anything can happen. I don't expect that. So I have a very say 4.5% year-over-year earnings growth, 2% dividend yield. I don't expect much variance from that. And if we get more earnings growth like we have for the last few years, hey, I'll take it, man. It's just freaking, it's whiskey in the jar at that point. All right. 30 married to an elementary teacher. We can't deal with the out of control wokeness. Yeah, it's crazy, Josh. 100%. Hate to hear that. Yeah, exactly. No one cares about animals in the environment in Maine as long as we can make some money killing the eagles, killing the freaking rabbits, killing the deer. But you can actually grow crops under the solar panels. That's what they'll say. It's just freaking stupid, man. All right, love you, bud. You going to bed? All right, wow, you're good, though. Yeah, I mean, I always talk about Ginnie Mae. Can't make any recommendations, but I love the Vanguard Ginnie Mae fund. Always have, always will. Yeah, I saw that too. We're going electric by 2050. Armored personnel carriers on battery back. The thing is it's just dumb. I can't take it. I spin a lot of doubt. I don't know. That's the weirdest thing. Paul says I spin a lot of doubt, and then he'll throw in this: do I have a doomsday shelter on my property? I've never ever went away from 6.5% stock returns on average. 2% dividend yield, 4.5% earnings growth. That's it. Some years you get down years, some years you get up. I'm very comfortable with those projections. We're at 100%. Not doomsday and all. Last 13 years, the market has been on a run like we've never seen. So that good things come to a stop at some point. Doesn't mean it's time to put the doomsday shit. It's embarrassing, Paul. Paul, you're embarrassing yourself. Do I have a doomsday shelter because I'm spinning a lot of doubt? Spinning a doubt? It's a freaking idiotic, man. The idea that I'm still, my portfolio is still at least 80-20 stocks to bonds, man. If that's doubt, I would tell you. Then go watch some other channel. I'm cool with that. No problem. Well, solar, it can't. If you're grid tied, it can't be backup power. That's a problem, James. If you're tied to the grid, you are literally tied to the grid. You have to have battery banks. If you don't have battery banks, you're not backup power. So a lot of people don't understand. And so, yeah, I know the technology of transfer switches and stuff is out there. That's great. You still need a battery. The battery is what stores the electricity that the sun had given you. Without a battery, there is no backup power, especially if you're grid tied. They'll shut you down in 2 seconds flat. So, you got to get batteries. Let's see. Yeah, so this like right here is a little bit too conservative for my taste, but I don't know what my man. Hey, baby case. Ike is about, but 1.1 Wellesley, 600,000 in cash. Wellesley's 40% stocks, so he'll have, what's that? 450,000 stocks. So 450,000 stocks, 650,000 bonds, 600,000 in cash. Too conservative for me, but if it works for him, more power to him. I can look along with that. Van. Look at that. Half of the windmill's not running. Yeah, right here, dude. 100%. I always say that you're ready to retire, Brad, when your wife drives a 2013 Toyota Camry and you drive a 2007 Ford F-150. 100%. No, are you gonna? My man says, how long until we're eating mashed up bugs like the World Economic Forum wants? Oh, I won't, but you can. I mean, it's just look. Anything can happen. I just find that it's we caught him with our pants, down. I mean, that's a nice thing. This is what the best thing that happened to Trump was he put the kibosh on the slow, gradual, the frog boiling thing. I know look, I get it. The frog doesn't actually boil to a death. I get that. But what I'm saying is the analogy is great. The frog is slowly boiling to death. In reality, that doesn't happen, but the analogy is wonderful. But what happened with Trump is because they weren't expecting the globalist cabal of Trump winning, they're caught with their pants down. And so what they thought they could get away with under Hillary, they couldn't, and actually they had to rush it out. And they rushed out too fast. So if anything was good for Trump, and again, I still think the first 3 years he was the best president in my life, to include Reagan. If anything was good for Trump, was that he made these guys force their hand. And I love it. I love the fact they forced their hand. And that means you have to take a side. You either say the CDC is looking out for you or not. There's no in between anymore. Ben, come here. I mean, for the CDC, you can choose that they are. That's fine. I don't know how you come to that conclusion, but you can. In the old days, though, a lot of right-minded people would think that they were looking out for them. And now they say, I'm not so sure anymore. CDC's, that's not looking very good. A lot of Brett Weinsteins, for instance, you know what I'm saying, would say, oh no, CDC, they're the freaking gold standard of medical research. They're just not. The NIH. Yeah, no, these guys are not, man. Doesn't mean the people who are working there, in IT are evil. It just means the top shelf entity of the CDC and the NIH leaves a lot to be desired in terms of trustworthy. I don't trust them, and you can. That's fine. I don't know why you would, but yeah, right on. Denise says, wouldn't clearing forests contribute to global warming? Exactly. The whole point about the zero carbon thing is that they're planting trees for carbon capture. So you get your clear cutting. This is so freaking stupid. So dumb. Oh, wow. Man, Ike's got 600,000 lump sum or $3,600 a month for a pension. So 7.2% distribution yield on that pension joint. Be awful tough for me to turn down. I can't tell you what to do. Oh, it's 900,000 lump sum. I thought I said, okay, hold on a sec. I thought it was not 600,000. Oops. Divided by 900,000. So my man Ike says he's got a 3,600 joint annuity. Times that by 12. Divide that, which is 43,000. Divide that by $900,000. Gives you a 4.8% distribution yield. I don't like that. I don't know your circumstances. It's just not quite where I'd want to be. I guess it depends on how old you are, but all right, Janice says she grew up with solar power for water heater. What a joke. Well, solar thermal can work great. Work great, man. Solar thermal, I love it. What are those? Yeah, I'm a big fan of American funds. All right, my man, look at you says, I loved your best retirement plan. Can you do another video removing the gold and precious metals and replace with a commodities fund? Yeah. Yeah, a long time, but a long time is, was Tesla, 1890s, 1880s? I mean, it's 140 years. How long have human beings on this planet been on this planet? Even that is subject to question, actually. So yeah, I know we could make electrons move for a long time. We weren't converting the bumping of electrons into electricity the way we see today in the last 150 years. That's it. Of all the times humanity has been on this planet, that's it. I just find it amazing. Yeah, I like Fidelity Balance Fund. Big fan of Fidelity Balance. Yes, it does, man. I like Morningstar ratings because I don't know if it's generally speaking anymore. They're gonna rate the lowest fees at the highest ratings, and low fees are the one thing you can do to assure that you'll be at least in the top. I can't guarantee that, but low fees are your one thing you can know to say my mutual fund will probably be a better than average performer. All right. All right. I don't know what VTTHX is. Sorry, man. Yeah, right on, Alan. Alan says I got some great books on sale for Kindle. Kindle Unlimited is free, man. Yep, random walk down Wall Street, says Paul. Am I ever going back to my whiteboard videos? What's my whiteboard? Yeah, probably. Yeah, things come and go, Nancy. It just comes and goes, depending on situation at hand. Right now, we have a person living down there, and I kind of try not to violate her space, if that makes sense. So, we'll see. But yeah, I like the whiteboard stuff too. The tripod, I guess, set up, and I mean, it's easy to do. It's just again, we have someone living down there, one of my wife's sisters, and I don't want to do all that while she's there. All right. I do have tattoos, like an idiot. Look at this guy right there. It's supposed to be an eagle with an American flag, and so when I was in the army, I had this drawn up. That was like $150 in 91. In a drunken stupor, we had another guy do this in Arlington, Virginia, in a drunken stupor. He did that, and then I have one on my back of a Viking. Just a Viking head that another guy in a drunken stupor do as well. And I got one on my ankle, which is basically freaking stupid. But look at that. It's like that used to be red, white, and blue, and now it's pink. It's just, I mean, when, and I wish I didn't have them now because their mom's got them now. It's like, all the freaking trend followers. I got tats, man. Shows you who I am. I got my tats. Hey, all the bartenders now have sleeve tattoos. Like, this whole thing. I remember the Dropkick Murphys. I always got a chuckle. This is probably 15 years ago or maybe 20 years ago. They had a song talk about kids with neck tattoos now, and I always kind of got a kick out of that because back then no one had neck tattoos unless you're like even freaking army guys that get neck tattoos, and I just always chuckle at that. And then I had a guy I knew I had a friend of mine in the army who since died from an overdose, and he lived up in Nashville, New Hampshire, and he had a friend he knew who was getting out of jail at a Miami prison, and if you're white in a Miami prison, let's just say it this way, you find yourself with other people like you, or else you're quickly not long for this world. And he had all these jailhouse tattoos on his head. And I mean, again, the guys in the army just had sleeves, but they weren't like sleeves like they are nowadays. They're just, anyway, it was interesting. And that's what you did. You went to the Watertown tattoo shop and you got your tattoos. It's like a rite of passage. Anyway, but I got these in Virginia. I didn't get any when in the army in upstate New York. Anyway, and so we went to a show in Boston. This guy has all these pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Provocative tattoos, if you will, that he got in a Miami prison. And we got chased. Oh my goodness, out of Boston. We're at the Rat seeing what band did we see? I forgot what band we're seeing down there. And I'll never forget. It's like, man, I don't even know who this dude is. I just know my friend we had like three guys and me, I was the only sober guy, and I don't even think I was that sober. That might have been the last time I ever drank. Now I think about it, and I just remember freaking these hoodlums from Boston. I guess didn't take kindly to this guy's provocative tattoos, and they chased us. And and he was wanting to go back, and I was like, no, if you go look, I don't know who you are. I just know I'm hanging with you. And he was actually a good guy, but I, was like, I don't know who you are, but I'm not going down for you, man. If you want to go back and take these guys, anyway. Long story short, so they're chasing us all. And I've told this story before, probably been a couple of years. So we get. I was the only guy who could drive, so I'm driving, and these guys were coming up behind us, and one was behind me, and one pulled up next to me. I said, "Oh man, this is it." You know what I'm saying? I was like, "What's going to happen?" And I can't remember. Like they threw a I think they were trying to get in front of me to cut me off, and they rolled down the window and they threw like a beer bottle at my car. We're in a Suzu Rodeo, and we're at a stoplight. And I was like, "Oh, I could sense that there." So the guy right behind me and a guy right next to me, and the guy rolled down the window. And they threw it out the car, and I think they were going to try to beat me off the light and get in front of me. Anyway, when they threw the bottle at my car, red and blues went on. You know what I'm saying? And I was like, I don't know where the cop came from, but he pulled that guy over, and I said, damn, because I don't know what would have happened after that, if that made sense. And I said, because he saw the guy like throw the thing at and I was like, woo. And so anyway, the guy behind me, he left. He gave me some. He was kind of pestering us a little bit, but it's just him, and like I think he only had two guys in his car, and it was all four of us, and we were fired up by this point. I remember we're going around a turn, and I said, if this guy follows us, we're going to get out. We're going to take care of business. And they went away. But I'll never forget that. It's funny. It's pretty freaking stupid what young men will do when they're full of piss and vinegar. But anyway, that's a story. But now everyone's got a tattoo. I get them all over their faces and everything. It's crazy, man. It's like whatever happened to tattoos being for army guys, bikers, Navy guys, and prison guys. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, freaking upper suburban bartenders got sleeves. Joe Rogan's got sleeve tattoos. What the hell's that, man? Who's the first guy? Is the soccer guy, Beckham or something like that? And I remember Josh Hamilton. But the first guy who made tattoos popular was Dennis Rodman. I'm telling you. Dennis Rodman didn't have tats when he played for freaking Detroit Pistons. No one did. No one had tattoos. Dennis Rodman did. And then that opened the door for Allen Iverson. And after Allen Iverson did, all the black guys got him. And of course, whites follow blacks because whites, we don't have our own culture apparently. So we all follow the blacks. And so all the whites want to be like the blacks because, the blacks are always, they have the coolest culture because whites are, I don't understand it, but we're, too scared to say, hey, we have our own culture. So we all start getting tattoos too. I mean, this we being a white guy. And but I'm starting to see less and less black guys with tattoos now. I find that interesting on basketball courts and stuff. So I'm like, good. So I always root for the guys with no tats anymore because I like it. I like the idea that these guys are saying I'm not doing that. So anyway, it's pretty interesting now. You're seeing a lot of the black guys who play basketball not getting tattoos so much anymore. And I say, huh. So you can see that trend is quickly fading, and which is good because I think it's stupid. I think when everybody gets tattoos, it's just dumb. I'm going to get a tattoo to show my individuality. Look, I got tattoos, man. I mean, I'm not a hypocrite. I'm just saying at the end of the day, when you're doing it just to show your individuality, that doesn't sound like you're doing it. Now, if you want to get a face tattoo, if that's showing your individuality, more power to you. I just find that to be, I wouldn't do it. Stupid. My man Enrique. Oh no! All right, this could be the last one, my friends. I am. Look at the horses. I'm under six figures in cash. Don't yet own a home. Going back to school. Thoughts on using it for a home versus stocks? Stocks don't put a shelter over your head, man. A roof over your head. That's all there is to it. I mean, now the drawback about buying a home is that buying a home is, I'm telling you, man, it's hard because sometimes a better job comes up, and if you're upside down or underwater on that home, you can't sell it that easily. Anyway, so the thoughts on using for a home versus stocks, I don't know. I don't know if I'd be buying a home if I'm going back to school, because once you get out of school, you might find a gig that's nowhere near where your home is. So I might just hang tight, frankly, see how things shake out. I saw Denise says she likes my whiteboard. He did need a spring for a whiteboard cleaner. Yeah, I'll get back to that, man. Maybe why would I have a marine tattoo? Come on, man. I'm a thinking guy. All right, my friends, I'm going to get down. I'm going to get on out of here. What happened? Oh, shoot. Is anyone out there on Rumble? No one's on Rumble? Oops. What happened? 1 second. Oops. I forgot Rumble, guys. Sorry. Oh, man. Jeremy's out there all by himself. Sorry, man. All right. I get out here, my friends. Go check on my puppies and see what's going on. Appreciate y'all. God bless. Have a good evening. Thanks now.